Hey, classmates. This is Deanna.
Hello, guys. This is Brett, and welcome back to episode 57 of Hard Lessons True Crime Podcast.
Yep.
57 weeks. Not consecutive, though.
Yeah, so it's
57.
technically what? 53?
Yeah. No, it'd be more than that because we started in August of 2023.
Oh,
So, carry your one,
you don't know for
divided by
sure.
6. You got the half integer. Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay.
Not a clue. Not a clue.
It's okay.
So, Teach, as usual,
Yes.
how was your week?
Busy. It's the start of testing, so it's quite busy.
Yay.
Other than that, it's the same. And whoever tells you that teaching is easy, please tell them no, it's not. It's
Girl.
very stressful.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously, I'm not a teacher. Obviously.
Obviously.
But, yeah, just seeing what you go through and your coworkers, y'all definitely earned that 3-month break in the summer, 2.5 months, however much it is.
12 weeks.
So, yeah, 3 months. Y'all definitely earned that. If anybody doesn't believe me, I don't lie.
Wait a minute. Maybe 8 weeks.
Oh, the break. Y'all deserve the break.
Every break that we can get, we deserve.
Absolutely.
Because it is extremely.
Especially this time of year, kids are ready for spring break. They're already thinking about it's almost summertime, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Sam, I'm pretty sure, is already checked out, seeing how he's graduating this year.
Yeah, I think he did.
I think he's
He's going
just
to have
like,
to recheck in because. Recheck in. Oh my gosh. School ain't over yet.
it's good.
But
You're not
anyway,
done yet.
it's almost there. And then we have 119 days. I mean, it's going to fly by right now. And then, boom.
It's going to be exciting.
Heck yeah. Lots of things happening this summer.
Absolutely.
May is a busy month.
May is a busy month. I don't know yet. I just thought about this. We may take the month of May off from the podcast. We got a lot going on. Possible trip down to Austin for Sam's track meet if he makes it back to state. Um, Sam graduating and Teach graduating with her master's degree, and then something else that's going to happen, but I haven't been given permission to say anything on the podcast yet, so I'm not going to.
There you go.
So
How about your week?
just know it's going to be exciting. My week was good. Work was good. My truck ran great all week. A couple of other guys had issues with their trucks, but um, still we were able to get off rather early on Friday. We in the past we've been off noon, even before like 10:30, 11 o'clock, be done with everything and take off. So I think it was about 2 o'clock when we got off this week. So wasn't as early, but it was still early, and any time getting off early is good.
Yes.
So it was a good week.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Absolutely. Are you ready to get started?
I am. Class is in session.
Did you notice I did better this time?
I did.
You know what I was doing?
No.
I'll usually hold my hand down here close, and
Oh.
I went boom, let it ring, and boom
A
again.
little force.
Huh?
Okay.
It's only taken 57 episodes, but I figured something out.
Hey.
The more you know.
The more you know. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. Which do you think is older, the Eiffel Tower or Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola.
You are correct. The first Coca-Cola was sold on May 8th, 1886 in Atlanta, Georgia by Dr. John Pemberton at Jacob's Pharmacy. The Eiffel Tower was completed on March 31st, 1889, making Coke 3 years older.
Oh, wow. That's cool. So why did he originally make Coke?
Well, he thought he made it for medicinal purposes.
What was in it that would make it medicinal?
Nothing, but
Oh,
just the time that at the times he thought maybe the caffeine would be like a relief for headaches and stuff like
okay.
that.
The fizzies make people burp and release some gas, maybe?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's good to know.
All right. So this week it is an international true crime. So I am going to mess up on some of these names. I guarantee it. I have been practicing them. I've been listening to YouTube videos on how to pronounce them and other pronunciation websites on Google. And I'm still going to mess it up.
That's okay.
So this week I am going to tell you the story of Leonarda Cianciulli. Cianciulli. And I will give a trigger warning now for cannibalism and suicide attempts here in a little bit.
Oh my gosh. This is disgusting.
Already.
All
right, so Leonardo Cianciulli was born April 14th, 1894, and she passed away on October 15th, 1970.
How old was she?
I'm going to do the math. Old. Her parents were, her dad was Mariano Cianciulli, and her mother was Amelia Denolfi.
Denolfi?
Denolfi. 1970 minus 1894.
76.
Lived a full life.
Yep.
Now, she did not have a great start into the world. She was conceived out of rape.
Oh.
And back in that time in Italy, it was very much frowned upon for a single woman to be pregnant and not married. So there was even though he raped her to get her pregnant, there was a forced marriage between the two.
Oh my gosh. Talk about a tense start to this marriage.
Absolutely. The location that she was born in was called Montel, um, also known as the Kingdom of Italy. So it's like on the little back half of the boot.
Okay.
Back in there. Her dad, Mariano, was described as a drunken, jobless man.
Winner.
He's like top notch. He would beat and force himself on Amelia all during her pregnancy and would continue after Leonarda was born. I keep on saying Leonardo. Leonarda was born. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to say it or see it, when Leonarda was 6 years old, her dad, Mariano, died.
Unexpectedly, unexplained.
It just said he died.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But life with Amelia was not any better.
Oh my gosh. She's the warped one.
She resented Leonarda since she was conceived out of rape. She was physically abusive, psychologically abusive, and ignored and neglected her.
Wow. Wow. Well, now we know where the problems came in at.
Starting to see a pattern there, eh? Mm-hmm. Now, Amelia, after a couple of years, did get remarried to a man who had a steady job. So she's like, and so you're thinking, okay, so things are going to start looking better for her and Leonarda.
Probably not.
Definitely not. Because not only now was Amelia ignoring Leonarda, but so was her new stepdad.
Oh, wow.
Um, she and her new husband continued the neglect and abuse. And at age 13, trigger warning, Leonardo would attempt suicide. Unsuccessfully, of course.
Of course.
But she attempted to hang herself, and it did leave her with bruising around the neck, and she was unable to speak for a couple weeks because of the damage it did to her.
To her throat.
Mm-hmm.
Who found her and got her down or whatever?
The rope broke.
Oh.
And she just fell.
Okay.
Amelia still would ignore her,
So,
even while she was recuperating from the attempt.
wow. So I can just imagine that she was unkept, unfed, wherever you sleep, whatever you can find yourself to eat, basically.
That is right. Just
I don't see no typing happening.
what in the world am I doing?
I don't know. How old was she when she tried this first time? Like 13?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. There's pause happening.
Yeah. She was 13. I'm sorry, classmates. I was trying to look up a photo of Leonarda to show to you. And these will be posted on our
Give it a minute.
social media when we're done.
Poor lady.
So yeah,
that's not her.
That's her
Yeah,
mug shots.
She was pretty when she was younger.
Mm-hmm. So less than a year later, Leonarda would have a second failed suicide attempt.
Okay. Later on in her life?
Less than a year after the first.
Oh.
Yeah. But as Leonarda grew older, she started receiving positive attention from her mom.
What was her mom after?
Well,
are you going to sell her?
No, but Amelia did have a plan. See, she was tired of their low class status. She was tired of always being near poverty.
Okay.
And so her plan was to use Leonarda as an escape and try to get her married off to somebody in a higher class.
Oh.
So that would also raise Amelia's class.
There you go.
But that was a bridge that had already been burned, and Leonarda had no desire to help her mom. So Leonarda went out um, as she was starting to reach the age where she could legally get married at the time.
Which was what?
15.
Okay.
Leonarda went out and found a man on her own, Mr. Raphael Pensarde.
Okay.
Who did have a job, who was a working man, and who did love Leonarda very much.
Okay.
But he had a low paying job as a clerk, like a receiving clerk on the docks and stuff. And as soon as Amelia found out, she was big mad. She wasn't just like a little bit mad, she was big mad. She disowned Leonarda completely. And according to, and we'll find out later on, Leonarda is very superstitious, like very superstitious. So, according to a very superstitious Leonarda, she was cursed by her mother to live a miserable life.
Oh. This is like one of those premonition moments.
Foreboding.
Yeah. ominous music.
Dun, dun, dun. If I could find that soundboard that I downloaded somewhere.
Oh well, we'll find it later.
Classmates, y'all know I'm not very I know enough about technology to know I should not have a podcast.
And yet, you know how to do this.
I know how to do this part because I just revert back to my report writing days at the police department. Putting it out for everybody to hear, that's the struggle.
Okay.
I mean, has anybody heard our theme song in a while? No.
Well, you'll figure it out.
One of these days. To Raphael's credit, he was a very loving and supportive husband, which probably shocked the crap out of Leonarda. She's like, "What do you want? Why are you being so nice to me?" But that's not to say that the couple would not endure an incredible amount of hardships.
Well, I can imagine.
You know, Leonarda longed to have some sort of control in her life because she had never felt any.
She's pretty much in control of herself.
But not really knowing what to do.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah. Sadly, Leonarda would go through 17 pregnancies.
Oh, my goodness.
3 ended in miscarriage, and 10 died as young children. Only 4 survived into adulthood.
Only into adulthood, and that's it, and they died?
Oh, well, no. I mean, they.
Oh.
Yeah, she had 4 living children
But
out of 17 pregnancies. So, like I said, she's very superstitious. She thinks her mom cursed her. There's proof of it right there.
Oh my gosh.
Of the 4 that survived, the oldest, a son named Giuseppe, was Leonardo's obvious favorite, almost to the point she was obsessive over him. Leonarda and Raphael moved, here we go, to Potenza with his family, where Leonarda quickly found work as a janitor at a local bank.
There you go.
Things looking up, on the right track, gainfully employed. However, she attempted to write herself an account with a large amount of money and was caught and sent to an all-female prison for fraud.
So she was just going to open up her own account with somebody else's money.
Basically.
So it wasn't a smart move.
It was not. Once released from prison, Leonarda insisted that the family move to an area that was then known as Lacedonia.
Okay, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Okay.
The move felt good. Leonarda developed a strong community with her neighbors and also the Romani people living out in the woods.
Okay.
And I wrote
gypsies?
Down gypsies living out in the woods. And so I looked up the Romani people. They were an Indo-Aryan ethnic group who traditionally lived a nomadic lifestyle, originated in the Indian subcontinent region of Rajasthan.
Okay.
So, yes, gypsies.
There you
go. During these visits, Leonarda was taught the art of palm reading and fortune telling.
Uh-oh. She's already superstitious. So.
And next bullet says she started leaning in on her superstitions even more. Became drastic when in 1930 the Irpinta earthquake destroyed their family home.
Oh,
So
goodness.
Lacedonia is no longer there, destroyed by this
Oh,
earthquake.
my goodness.
Now, Leonarda and her husband and her children, especially the favored Giuseppe, were not injured.
Well, that's good.
So
No, because she didn't die till 70, so.
that's right. She knows he's still around. Then they moved to a small village called Correggio.
Correggio.
And I learned something in the pronunciation of Italian words. Apparently, two G's put together, because it's spelled Correggio. Two G's put together make the Z sound. Correggio.
Oh, Correggio.
Yeah. Leonarda began giving advice to younger women. She started reading their palms and telling fortunes. And she gained a reputation as a motherly figure.
Were any of her insights come true?
Unclear.
It's unclear. Okay.
Yeah. But what was clear before anybody in the village, so this tells me that yes, they did.
Okay.
Because before anybody in the village would go and make any life altering decisions, they would go to Leonarda first.
Okay.
And say, okay, this is what I'm thinking. What does my future say? And if she said yes, then they'd go for it. If she says, they would back out.
There you go. Okay.
So things were going good. But as we know with Leonardo, things can't always go good.
No, there's going to come a crash.
And her superstitions tell her things aren't always going to be good, Leonardo. So get ready, get ready. So in 1939, her favorite son, Giuseppe, enlisted into the Italian army. And she's like, oh, I can't have that. You're my favorite. You're going to get killed, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my gosh.
So, what is a mother to do?
Go with him.
Or take the route she took? I know what will protect my son.
Kill him.
Human sacrifice.
What?
They won't take his body if I offer up a body to them. Human sacrifice.
Oh my gosh, she has done flipped her lid.
There is nothing documented about any of the Romani rituals that says that human sacrifice was in their belief system.
She just totally made it up.
She just went off on her own for this one.
Her eggs done cracked.
And needing some humans to sacrifice, her role as the town mother was very useful to Leonardo.
Oh no, she was the predator.
Mother. She's the original mommy dearest.
Yes.
Joan Crawford had nothing on her. So, victim number one was a middle-aged spinster named Faustina Seri.
Okay.
Poor Faustina. She had been meeting with Leonarda about leaving Correggio. Correggio. Leonarda convinced Faustina that if she would leave, she would find love and marriage in the larger town over from them called Pola.
Okay.
But you must not tell anyone that you are leaving. Rule number one. Rule number two, I need you to write several letters. Write it from the future. You know, I've moved. I've blah, blah, blah. Next letter, I'm blah, blah, blah. I met this guy, blah, blah, blah. Next letter, oh my gosh, we're getting married. How wonderful, blah, blah, blah. I'm so happy. But I don't want you to mail them off. Bring them all to me. And I will mail them out month after each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Faustina, being a spinster, always wanting to be married, said, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do that. And so she did. Now, the day she was to leave, she showed up because, of course, Leonarda is not going to do this for free.
Well, no. And she has to give her the letters.
And she has to give her the letters. Here's a photo of Faustina.
Where? Oh, right there.
Yeah. Has to give her the letters. And she, I mean, this is a business, so she owed her some money still. So she showed up and paid her the $530 that she owed her.
For then it was 500.
For then it was 530. You want? Because I did look it up.
Whoa.
You want to know how much it was today's money?
How much in today's money?
$12,033.86.
Wow. Wow.
So
That was a lot of money back then.
that was a lot of money today.
Well, yeah, it is. But I'm just thinking, for that time period.
Yes, ma'am.
Yikes.
That is crazy.
Okay, so she shows up to pay her.
Now, of course, Faustina's excited to get on the road. She's excited to meet her man. Excited to start this new life. But Leonardo was like, oh, please, we must celebrate. Let's have some wine before your journey.
Oh.
So Faustina agrees.
It's laced.
And unknown to the excited traveler, Leonarda had poisoned the wine.
Yep.
Not enough to kill her, but enough to knock her out.
Because it had to be a live sacrifice?
Once unconscious, Leonardo took an axe and delivered the death blow.
Well, at least she was unconscious for this.
She thought of her.
Yeah.
It was a mercy kill in a way.
Oh my gosh.
Now what she did next, I'm going to give another trigger warning for her. Faustina's body was butchered and was cut into 9 separate pieces. The blood was collected during this butchering process and left in bowls. Lye was used to dissolve the chunks of flesh, and that was taken and poured down the sewage.
Gross. People were drinking her.
The blood was then baked in her oven.
Okay.
Once it came out of the oven, and it dried, had turned into a powder.
Okay.
So Leonardo took that powder. She mixed it with flour. She added some sugar. She poured a little milk in there, and she made little tea cakes out of the blood of Faustina. Not only did neighbors and friends enjoy snacking on these cakes that they said they had never tasted anything like before in her life, but so did Leonarda and Giuseppe, her son that was about to leave for the army.
Oh my god. So she was, oh gross.
Now, it wasn't long until Leonardo was getting the itch for another sacrifice.
Oh my gosh. She done got the taste for it.
She
now
did.
It's not doesn't have anything to do with her son.
Mm-hmm. So enter Francesca Soave. So Soavi. She was also a middle-aged single woman, but she didn't come to Leonarda looking for a mate. She was looking for a job opportunity somewhere else and the opportunity to travel.
Oh.
So, just like before, the murder would take place 1 full year after Faustina's. And now nobody had been coming around asking about Faustina because she didn't have any family.
Right.
So before, just like before, um, Leonarda told Francesca don't tell anybody. Write out these letters, bring them to me, blah, blah, blah. Francesca's getting ready to leave town. Um, gives her some wine, kills her with the axe, and everything else that she had done before, including making more of those delicious blood cakes.
Oh my gosh. How gross.
There was nothing about the missing ladies that would lead back to Leonarda.
Yeah.
But I do have a quote after she was caught that I was just like, "Goop." And if I had to read it, I have to share it.
Yes.
So this is a direct quote from Leonarda. I threw the pieces into a pot. I added 7 kilos of caustic soda, which I had bought to make soap. I stirred the mix until the pieces dissolved into a thick, dark mush that I poured into several buckets and emptied down a septic tank. I mean, who even thinks like that?
I don't know, because I wouldn't even know how to get rid of none of it.
So this lady here on the end is Francesca.
Okay.
That's Faustina. The first victim, that's victim number 2.
Okay.
Um, so yeah, pretty dang gross. Now, Leonardo's third victim
Uh-huh.
had something that the others did not.
Money?
A family.
Oh, oopsie doopsie.
She slipped up.
Uh-huh.
The victim, Virginia Cacioppo, 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 was a renowned opera singer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, gonna leave a trail.
Yeah.
Um, but this did not keep Leonarda from going ahead forward with her plan.
Why did she come see her?
She didn't, whether it was to, well, I didn't know she had a family or I got to have a sacrifice. She, like I said, being a renowned opera singer, she was wanting to just get away. She came to her, say, "Hey, can you look and see, is there anywhere I can just go and not be seen? Not, I can just be me for a while." And so she had her write the letters. She had her come by with the letters before she left. And she did the exact same thing, except she did not dispose of the body down the sewage.
What did she do this time?
This time, Virginia's fat was melted down and mixed in and made soap bars out of.
It's disgusting.
Um, she also made more blood cakes. And as previous with the blood cakes, not only did she give those to family and friends, but she also gifted them soap. Some of the soap she sold at a local market, and then some she kept for personal use.
I wonder if her brain was even thinking about the soap or any of the cakes or anything. Maybe once it was done, it was like this.
Yeah, she's not using it, so might as well be something useful.
Yeah, or just I'm just saying, like after the murder, it's like, well, I gotta take care of this, and that's the best way she knew how to clean it and take care of it. And
But very
the
possible.
soap and the blood cakes were just something.
Yeah. I think the blood cakes started out. I'd read one article that had mentioned this, but it was only the one article, so I didn't write it down. But I mean, it does make sense. The blood cake started out because she was like, well, if I give it to Giuseppe and he gets her dead body into him, that will preserve his body when he goes off to the army and go fights in a war and stuff.
That's a superstition thing. Okay.
So, I mean, that makes sense. And like I said, it was only in one of the articles. So.
Did Giuseppe go off to the army?
He did. Um, Local markets. So Virginia's sister-in-law, Albertina Finney. You notice how a lot of these women had men names with women like Leonarda instead of Leonard, or Albertina instead of Albert. I just dawned on me right now when I said Albertina's names. Virginia's sister-in-law, Albertina Fanti, Fanti, became concerned and was suspicious of the last place of the letters that she had been receiving, and was suspicious of the mother figure at the last place she had been seen. The letters also Albertina had been receiving, she said, were unbelievable and not language she would normally use. And so the cops asked her. So she goes to, and I guess they had like a regional police department because these were all small villages.
Uh-huh.
So Albertina reported her concerns to the Reggio Emilia police. And then they started an investigation. And they were like, well, is this even your sister-in-law's handwriting? Like, yeah, that's her handwritings, but that's not like language she would normally use and how she normally talked.
Hmm.
And so they were like, okay. So the police make their way to Leonarda's house, begin asking her questions. And at first, she was like, I'm a mother of four. I have a reputation here in town as the town's mother. She was using that to her advantage. And the cops were like, okay, well, if it wasn't you, because this was the last place that Virginia was seen, must have been your son Giuseppe that did it.
Oh.
That's her favorite. You don't mess with Giuseppe.
Nope.
So with hearing that, Leonarda was like, no, it was me. She quickly gave a full and detailed confession and was placed under arrest.
Whoa.
She goes to trial in 1946, which is kind of crazy to me because she gave a confession, but they still had a jury trial. But maybe that's the times. That's how they do it in Italy.
Yeah.
I don't know. She goes, excuse me. She goes to trial in 1946, where she was quickly found guilty on all three charges and was sentenced to 33 years in prison with an additional 3 years in the asylum for the criminally insane. During her time in lockup, Leonardo wrote and published a 700-page memoir entitled Confessions of a Bitter Soul.
Aww.
You gonna write that down?
No, I'm going to see if it's on Evo.
Oh. What happened? Oh, skipped a page. Confessions of a Bitter Soul. Now, in 1970, during her stay at the women's asylum, so she made it all the way through the prison, and at her stay in the asylum, Leonarda passed away of a cerebral apoplexy.
Stroke.
And I was like, I have no idea what a cerebral apoplexy is. So I looked it up, and you are correct. It is a term that is no longer used. Today we just use the term stroke. And her burial details are unknown. And that is the story of Leonardo Cianciulli, also known as the soap maker of Correggio. It's kind of a morbid, gross serial killer name. The soap maker of Correggio.
Wow. So I take it like her husband and her children had no idea.
Had none. He had. I read in one of the articles that he had taken a job that took him away for like long periods at a time, and so yeah, he had no idea.
Wow. And Giuseppe went to war and came home.
Apparently, he survived. I mean, he may still be alive to this. I doubt it, but I mean, he could still be alive to this day.
Right.
So my bibliography for this week, an amazingly good article on Medium.com. Mother Dearest: The Crimes of Leonarda Cianciulli, the soap maker of Correggio. Um, AAFS.org, which that stands for the American Academy of Forensic Science. It was a PDF. Uh, Psychiatry and Behavioral Science 2018. The Incredible Crimes of Leonardo Cianciulli. Findagrave.com. Leonardo Cianciulli.
But you didn't find her.
Well, she's listed there, and it talks about her, but it just says her burial spot is unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And then BuzzFeed.com, where I found this story: 27 extremely dark true crime stories from countries outside the United States.
Nice, nice.
Heck yeah! So, Teach, what would you give me as a grade?
I'd give you an A. That was pretty good.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Pretty good, pretty good.
You want to hear a story? Are you good? You need something kind of
Lighthearted?
lighthearted to end with?
Yeah. Give me a lighthearted story.
All right. So, I was my first job in law enforcement was with the Hutchinson County Sheriff's Office, Board of Texas. And it was a Sunday afternoon. My buddy Hot Rod and I were the only two deputies working. And he said, "Hey, how about we park your car at the sheriff's office and we hop in my car and just tag team this afternoon, the rest of the day together?" I was like, "All right, yeah, man, sounds good." So we head out and um, we go out to Lake Meredith. Folks in the Hutchinson County area will know where I'm talking. Will know what I'm talking about. Go out to an area called the Stillen Basin. So as you're going across Lake Meredith Dam,
From Stinnett or coming in from Border?
Coming in from Border.
Okay.
On the left-hand side is Lake Meredith. On the right-hand side, if you look down off of the dam, there's like picnic areas, small swimming area. That's the Stillen Basin. And so we would go out there and do what we called bikini patrol.
You pervs.
And so Rodney and I pull up, and he's looking. He's like, "Oh my gosh, look at that one over there in that pink and white bikini." And I was like, "Oh yeah, she looks pretty cute from the backside." I think I said something like, "Probably has a dog face when she turns around."
Oh wow.
Yeah, I know. I was I was mid-20s. I was a jerk. And so we're sitting there talking, and she does turn around, and it's Rodney's wife. And he jumps out of his patrol car, and I can see him. He's pointing his finger at her, and I could hear him say, "You get home now, blah blah." He gets back in the car, he slams his door, and I'm like, "Dude, what's wrong? A few minutes ago you were talking about how she was the most beautiful woman out here." "Well, she still is the most beautiful woman out here, but that's my eyes only."
Oh wow.
So that's a little way of us ending it in a little bit of brevity. Being a cop was cool, had some tense moments, but we had some fun times also.
Yeah.
So
You gotta do something so it's not driving you crazy.
Yes, ma'am. Speaking of that, uh, y'all keep good thoughts headed out to a former partner of mine, Mr. Alanez. He is now a Tarrant County deputy sheriff down in the Fort Worth area. And on Friday was going to serve a warrant on a local guy. And the guy pulled out a knife and stabbed him before Mr. Alanez knew what was going on. So he's recovering. I've talked to him. He's at home. So y'all just keep good thoughts heading towards Mr. Alanez.
Or any public officer, police officers, firefighters, EMS, things like that, sheriffs.
Yeah.
They all need that protection because I personally don't want to live in a lawless world, or at least America. I want somebody that's going to come protect me from stupid people.
It's there's a lot of bad cops out there, but there's way more good cops than there are bad. So
Yeah,
let's give them all good thoughts.
absolutely.
All right, Teach. So what am I reporting on next week?
So next week it's going to be true crime.
True crime. I've already got a case lined up.
Well, we'll be excited to hear it.
Heck yeah. This is about one of those not so good law enforcement officers.
Oh, wow. That's okay. You know,
But
people surrender to the bad side.
absolutely.
They're tempted and they go for it, and then their lives can be ruined from it.
Look at Darth Vader.
Yes. Darth Vader is the exact one I was thinking of.
Prime example.
Yes.
All right, classmates. We hope y'all have a great week. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you're in this area and you haven't yet, don't forget your tickets to Boomtown Comic Con. They're going to have t-shirts on sale. So look them up on Facebook, Boomtown Comic Con. I'm sure they got other social media, but that's the only one I really do. So that's the only one I really know. So y'all have a good week. We love y'all and thank you for your support.
Class is dismissed.